Hey y'all, this is Amani Sawari coming at y'all with another commentary on one of my favorite reality TV shows, Love After Lockup. And this episode, number 44, I'm going to try to squeeze in two couples into this commentary. I'm going to talk about Jeff and Anissa and Stan and Lisa. And I'm combining them together because I feel like both Anissa and Stan have spent the most money and are spending like an ongoing amount of absorbent money, and they're both age gap relationships. Jeff and Anissa aren't that far apart as Lisa and Stan, but I think the age gap dynamic along with the financial support piece really ties those two couples together. So I'm going to start off with Jeff and Anissa. So we already talked about last week, episode number 43, how it seemed like Anissa was allowing the trauma from the emotional trauma from when Jeff did not show up the last two times he was supposed to parole to her house and they were supposed to get married. She's holding on to that and allowing that to be the anchor for the financial abuse that Jeff is inflicting on her. And he's spending thousands and thousands of dollars on droid cameras and other electronics and clothes. And in this episode, he's trying to log into her computer, and the password isn't working, and he types it in again and it's not working, and he tells the camera, he's like, I'm sure that this is the password, and he types it in again. The camera gets him typing it in and it doesn't work, and Jeff slams the laptop down. He gets pissed. He's like, oh, she lying to me? Why is she acting like this? And she's already been distant. Like last episode, she was really like frail. Like she looked like every time they were in the same room, like she was about to cry. And it's because Kyle told her information that Jeff told him, testing him to see if he would tell Anissa. So Kyle failed the test. Kyle told Anissa the secret, and Anissa's trying to keep herself together while she holds the secret in. She's waiting for Jeff to try to tell her that he has a son from a previous relationship, and he's not. And it's been days. It's been at least 2 days, and Anissa is really frustrated. And so Anissa invites over Kyle and his girlfriend to dinner with Jeff and herself. And while they're on the way, while the dinner party is in preparation, Jeff is like, what is going on with you? Tell me what's going on with you. Why are you so upset? Why are you acting different? And then this is like, nothing. And then finally, Jeff is like, if you don't tell me what's wrong with you, I'm going to cut this ankle monitor off and I'm going to walk out the door. And just the scare tactics that he uses to communicate with her was just baffling to me. But then this is like, isn't there something that you have to tell me? And he's like, what? And she's like, that you got an 18-year-old kid. And instead of addressing the situation with Anissa right then and there, confirming or denying or giving some more background information, he says, who told you that? And she says, Kyle told me. And he goes off. He doesn't say anything else to Anissa. He goes outside knowing that Kyle is on the way, and he is screaming. He's walking around in circles around the yard waiting for Kyle to pull up, and he's like, I don't care what he got. If he got a gun, if he got a knife, if he got a stick, I don't care what he got. I'm about to blow his socks off, or whatever he says. He's just throwing out, random threats. And then Kyle pulls up in the car, and we actually seen a piece of this as a teaser the last episode. But Kyle pulls up in the car, and I'm thinking, so far I have not seen a aggressive bone in Kyle, so I have no idea how he's gonna react to like the level 1000 that Jeff is at right now. But surprisingly, he does. Like, he jumps out of the car and, first he's talking to production. Like, he he ain't got nothing on me. I'm gonna be able to beat him up. Da, 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 da. And you know, I love when people like to egg on with production, knowing that production is going to hold them back. Kyle does this. He eggs on with production, but production did not hold Kyle back enough when he ran towards Jeff. Okay, Jeff jumped onto him, jumped over him. Okay, he puts Kyle on the floor and is punching him. And finally, production splits them apart, and Kyle is just like, oh man, you know, you can't do it again though, kind of thing. And it's just like, bro, he already jumped on top of you, and you know, he didn't knock you out, but he knocked you over. And we don't see the girlfriend. We don't see any response from the girlfriend. They kind of flash back and forth between the fight and Anissa in the house. And Anissa's like, I'm not going out there. They're going to deal with this amongst each other. I am not going out there. There's nothing I could say. And at first I was laughing like, Anissa, of course there's something you could say. Like, you're literally the reason why the two of them are fighting. But then I'm just like, you know, Anissa is grown. She is too old for this. She is not jumping out there to pull any men apart. Obviously, they have testosterone of their own that they want to blow off. Anissa knows that Jeff has something against Kyle and Kyle has something against Jeff, and it goes beyond her. It might have to do with her, but it goes beyond her. Her only worry is that both of these men are formerly incarcerated, and Jeff is currently on parole. And so if they get into a fight and the neighbors call the police, Jeff is going back to the halfway house or prison, and Kyle might end up at somebody's halfway house or prison. Okay, and so that's Anissa's concern. But all of this is literally a mixture of her past trauma, her not addressing her past trauma, Jeff and Anissa's lack of communication, and Kyle's seemingly thinking that he's a part of this relationship and that his opinion matters at all. That's literally the three ingredients to the fight outside in Anissa's yard, okay? So, let's talk about Stan and Lisa really quickly. Stan is in his 60s. Lisa is in her early 30s, okay? And Lisa's laid down the law. She's let Stan know that she wants a car, and that is her condition in being in this relationship and continuing to live with him. And so Stan does it. And I really admire the way that Lisa let Stan know, this is what you did to me. I don't appreciate it. I feel disrespected. This is what you're gonna do in order to make me feel appreciated and respected. And if you don't do it, we're done. I love that. I love that she was really explicit about it. And for me, it didn't matter if she asked for a house and a car and, you know, stock shares. It didn't matter to me what she asked Stan for. I love the fact that she made it so clear what she wanted and why she wanted it and what the effects were going to be if she didn't get it, because I took some notes, okay? And Stan definitely did too, because he got it done, okay? He got it done. He got the car for her. He spent over $13,000 on the car. He lets his friend know, and his friends are just like, Stan, oh my gosh, what's wrong with you? But Stan's a millionaire, so he doesn't care. And he's really transparent. Like we see in this episode how open he is with Lisa about the amount of money he makes. Like he pulls out because in buying the car he has to show proof of his income, so he pulls out like his receipts for his stock shares and stuff, and he's just like, oh, you know, I made over $130,000 this past, you know, year doing this, and I've got another over 100K coming towards me before year end and stuff like that. And Lisa is just like, you know, she's telling everybody that she talks to, like, the man I'm talking to, he makes over 130K. And she likes, when he goes out, she's snooping around his house, looking at his collectibles. Like he has a baseball that's signed by I want to say Babe Ruth, but that just might be the only baseball player that I really care about that I would want a baseball signed by. But he has a baseball signed by a famous baseball player, and He has a whole wall of cards. Oh, and he actually meets Lisa's family during this episode. Her brother comes and her mother comes, and they sit and they talk to Stan, and the brother just gets one-on-one with Stan and is like, yo, you treated my sister like shit. You threw her stuff out on the ground. I didn't appreciate that. And what are you going to do to make sure that that doesn't happen again and make sure that she's taken care of? So Stan lets him know, that was out of my character. It had been a really hard night. And I do want to take care of her. And I love her. And I don't know if the brother believes him or if he's just willing to put up with Stan's BS, because Stan is a millionaire and Stan did drop racks for her to get her driver's license back, for her to pay off all her fines and fees. Y'all check out Fine Free, support Fine Free. I'll leave some information about our Fine Free program in the description box. But yeah, he drops all these stacks in order to make sure that her life is in a better place, so that, because he's co-signing this car, so that he isn't on the hook, okay? Because he can have an unlicensed driver driving this car. All right. So Stan gets Lisa the car, and it was funny to me when Stan's getting in the car and he's like, all right, so now we got this car, are we gonna get married next? And I did not even think that Stan was interested in getting married. Like, why choose someone that still has 2 divorces that they need to get processed before they could marry someone? Like, it just seemed like he wasn't, like, that's a perfect excuse. Like, be with somebody who is, too intertwined in other stuff to be able to get to the point of marrying you if you never want to get married. That seemed like, to me, what Stan's plan was, but the fact that he brought it up and is joking about it, it was like, oh, would Stan marry Lisa? I guess. And I mean, I guess Lisa will stay with him long enough to get her driver's license in order, to get her, all the fines and the citations, paid back. She's going to need a lawyer for divorce proceedings to protect any assets that she might have. She's going to need representation, in those states where, she's already married, so she couldn't have gotten him married again. So there might be some, criminal, civil things that she is breaking that need to be resolved, and that's going to be a pretty penny. The complex situation that she is in with being married to 2 different people and needing 2 divorces in 2 different states is something that's going to cost Stan. And Lisa, she is wise for keeping him around. I still can't tell if she genuinely has any feelings for him or if she's just riding this. And people even ask her, like, is he a trick? And she goes out shopping with one of her friends, and when the friend asks, she's like, no, I genuinely like him. And it feels like she might. I mean, I don't know though. I feel like the more money someone has, the harder it is to tell if the people around them are genuine. So, I mean, it's better that Stan knew her prior to her incarceration, because she was on like Seeking Arrangements and that's how they met. But she said that she got on Seeking Arrangements because she had too many felonies to get a regular job. So that's a red flag. So yeah, everything that led to them being together is just really cloudy and chaotic. And so the situation that they're in is really cloudy and chaotic. I mean, who out of the 2 has more longevity, you guys? Do you think that Stan and Lisa have more potential for a long-lasting, healthy marriage? Or do Jeff and Anissa have more potential for a long-lasting, healthy marriage? I mean, with where things are standing right now, with Jeff and Kyle out in the yard fighting their brains out, in comparison to like Stan and Lisa seeming like they're settling into their lives together. Lisa just got a new car. That's gonna help her with getting hopefully a job. And Jeff just got a new droid so that he can look around. I mean, look around the town. It looks like right now that Stan and Lisa are in a more solid place. But there's still time to see what happens. I personally, it's really hard out of the two of them. I mean, Stan and Lisa have more going for them right now, but I think it's just because they don't have as much history as Jeff and Anissa. And Jeff and Anissa just got like this wild wrench of a complication in their relationship that they're trying to work out, whereas Stan and Lisa, they have all the facts that they're working with, or at least all the facts that Lisa's willing to present to Stan. She even says, like, I never give him all the information. I tell him the bare minimum of what he needs to know, and I work from there. And I think it's wise, like, especially if he's not even asking the questions he needs to ask, then why privy him to extra information? So, you know, Lisa is dropping knowledge bombs. She's dropping knowledge nuggets throughout the episode. It's obvious that she's really good at code switching. I mean, she played the role of masculine when she was in prison, obviously coming out looking more buff and studly than the man that she was coming home to. So it's obvious that she knows how to figure out what role is needed and how to fill that role so that she can be successful in that environment. And I admire that. I admire that about Lisa, and I think that's a quality that a lot of formerly incarcerated people have that we don't recognize as something valuable. And I value that in her, and I learn a lot watching the way that she works Stan. So keep working them, Lisa, all the way down the aisle if that's what it takes. It looks like Stan's okay with it, and if he's okay with it, of course I'm gonna be. All right, so that is Stan and Lisa versus Jeff and Anissa. Again, what do you guys think? Who has the most potential for longevity in their relationship out of these two couples? And I will see you guys on the next one. Again, this is Amani Sawari with your favorite commentary on your favorite reality TV show, which is Love After Lockup. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.